TIFU-The worm question. Those of us who aren't single know this question. Either through social media or because the test has been presented to them before. And I knew of it as well. And still. When we were laying in bed and she was scrolling through Instagram, it just caught me off guard. Now for context, I am a German and live in Germany while she's Canadian. So this is me experiencing jet lag and I'm also seeing her for the first time in person. Does this make things better? Probably not, maybe makes it worse actually. She turns to me, almost nonchalantly as if she has already had this conversation with me before and could guess every word I'm about to say. Would you still love me if I was a worm? And I failed. In my defense, we had just woken up and I was still a little sleepy. But I turned my dumb head towards her and say probably the single worst thing I could have said. No. How would that even work? Cue the utter look of disappointment. I'm talking big, puppy eyes. Shoving her lower lip forwards. Pushing up her nose slightly. I pretty much got the whole "you fucked up" package delivered to my face. She says you could keep me in a little jar with dirt and leaves, and this is the moment a smart boyfriend realizes that this question has nothing to do with logic but instead is more of a "would you love me no matter what" question with a cute and funny twist. And like the moron that I am, I double down and say the second worst thing I could have said. But how do I love you? I can't really kiss you anymore or talk to you really. Boys. Gals. Everything in between and off the spectrum. If your partner asks you if you'd still love them if they were a worm, just say yes. The look of "well, I'm upset now" doesn't make the victory in that discussion worth it. In my head I thought the two of us were on even terms there. In her head I simply should have said yes and moved on. Luckily I quickly diffused the situation by looking up how to hold worms as pets. One of the tips was that worms need to wiggle, so I wrapped her in a blanket and shook her a little while making a dumb noise. That made her so happy and giddy that all was right in the world again, but she did immediately tell her best friend, who slid into my DMs, to call me a dumbass and ask why I didn't just say yes. She has reminded me several times of what I have said already, and I get the feeling that she will not let me live this down anymore. Luckily she's very easily distracted and I get her giggly with the "worms need to wiggle," but even as I'm typing this I'm wondering what in the world I was thinking. TL, Dr. Egoed asked if I would still love my girlfriend if she was a worm and said no. Don't do that. Edit, some of y'all worry me a little. This was a silly thing, not even that serious of a post but funny enough to write about. But I have to say, if your first impulse upon hearing a silly question is to either insult your partner or make fun of them, you will probably end up writing an Ida/Tifu faster than you'd think.